going on, guys? Thanks for joining me again for another video. So today, before we get started with the purpose of this video, which you know already from the title, I actually have to show you my mom's truck. So a little backstory on my mom's truck. It's her beater truck she uses for the winter and getting around and you know, going upstate, things like that. She actually left to Dominican Republic and left me the truck because obviously in the city there's alternate side parking and you'd have to move the car back and forth. So it's just easier to leave it in front of my house up over here in Long Island where there is no alternate side parking and you don't have to move the car. Alternate side parking sucks because I used to get a ton of tickets when I lived in the city because I hated waking up in the morning and moving my car over. And I think I paid thousands of dollars in tickets. So while it's here, I actually want to work on it a little bit and fix a couple things. It has a exhaust leak and a couple different things. So this morning I wanted to get underneath the car and see where that exhaust leak is coming from. See if I'm going to need a whole new muffler, or if I can just get away with a couple of things. But I guess I can show you how to inspect an exhaust to see if there's a leak or not. So let's head on down and go underneath the car. The cool thing about this one is that I don't have to jack it up. There doesn't seem to be any rips. Let's see here. It doesn't seem to be any rips on the exhaust here. I think I found my boost leak. There it is. The resonator is cracked, and if you notice it right there, resonator is cracked, and that's where the boost leak, well, not boost leak, sorry, the exhaust leak is coming from. This car can get pretty loud. Let me actually inspect the other side over it. Yeah, the whole thing is ugly right there. Everything up front seems to be fine, so I don't have to worry about that, but then this definitely here needs to come off. There's a crack right there. Looks like I should hit something and it cracked it. So funny story around this, my mom went to a mechanic and they told her she needed a new muffler. Yeah. She doesn't need a new muffler. Looks like she needs a new resonator to go in the middle, so I'm gonna go online and see what I can find. But now to the purpose of this video. So as you guys know, I installed the blow-off valve from CTS Tuning. There were pretty decent instructions online if you went to look for them directly from them, but there was nothing about the extra spring that they give you in the kit, which looks like this. So that spring, I remember because we installed Sammy's diverter valve first, and I remembered that the shift spring was for higher boost applications, but there were instructions on Forge and not on CTS. Now, I contacted CTS and one of the reps replied to me right away. I'm not sure if it was because I told them I was making a video about it, but they responded right away and they told me that the red one was for higher boost applications. And I've noticed that the blow-off valve does release a little bit more boost than I thought it would. So I'm gonna actually go inside, show you how to replace the spring, and kind of give you an overview of it. The forged one is a little bit easier to replace the spring on because you literally just twist the cap. It locks out by hand. You twist the cap and then you're able to switch the spring. The CTS, on the other hand, is actually 3 Allen bolts you have to remove. So hopefully I have the key. I should have the key, and I'll show you how to remove that. So I've got myself a whole set of Allen bolts, Allen keys, and time to sort of test fit all these and see which one works. So I was actually hoping not to have to remove the intake, but it looks like I'm gonna need a little bit more space. So as it turns out, I actually had to remove the entire blow-off valve just to get to this stuff because it's just a little bit of a pain to get to that last bolt. Make sure you don't lose the O-ring. So let's slide that aside. And I just got to take off this last screw here. Once you remove the top, you should have access to the spring. It's pretty much just a matter of taking it out and sliding the new one back in, and then putting the lid back on with the same 3 screws. Now remember, this one's going to be a little bit harder to kind of push down and put the screws in, so just take your time. It's always good to put something like this, like an old rag, that's going to hold anything that falls if you're working on top of your engine. Battery died again. So let's go back down. So last thing I was talking about was just pretty much putting a rag down. We removed all of the bolts that hold this top piece in over here. I just wanted to give you a different angle. It's 1, 2, 3. If you have a forged one, this piece just kind of twists off by hand, so it's much easier to replace. I actually had to remove the entire blow-off valve to get to this assembly. So once I switched everything over, dang, this thing is still super cold. I'm gonna just put it back on the car, and then we'll go out for a drive and see if there's any sound differences. Well, it was definitely nothing like this on Long Island a few days ago. It is freezing out, back to the 30s. It's a pain in the airs. Just right off the rip, it doesn't seem to be losing any sound quality, which I enjoy, because this is what I like the most about this CTS blow-off valve. It still feels strong, it still sounds good. I do realize that on the other blow-off valve, as I was letting off the gas, sometimes it would go like sound like it's still releasing, like shh, it'd give you that sound. And that's the reason why I decided to really look into that spring and ask CTS directly to, you know, sort of enlighten me in that situation. Now, on to the reason why you would install this spring. CTS recommends that you leave the regular spring, the silver spring that they put in there, if you're doing just regular stock application. If you're going high PSI, then I suggest you get the red. I might even look into the forge so that I can fine tune the different springs. I just have to figure out if they're the same size, that they're interchangeable. I believe they are, but I don't want to make any assumptions. If you have a forge, obviously you could just twist and do exactly that same thing. Forge makes it a little bit easier because they provide a whole spring kit that you can use different colors for different boost applications at peak boost. So the JB4 is pulling out. Last time I logged it, it went to 25 pounds of boost, somewhere around 4,000 RPMs, I believe it was. So it did peak at 25. So that's a good thing, and was a bad thing also for the blow-off valve, because of the less stiff spring, it was actually staying open. So I got the stiffer spring in there now, so it should be good. I shouldn't be losing any boost whatsoever. Yeah, so guys, you might notice that I'm a little bit more active on the Facebook groups now. I'm trying to get, you know, to know everyone on a more like personal level, because, you know, the comments are cool and all, but sometimes you can't really associate a face to the comments. So it's always cool to actually know who's writing back to you guys. So I really appreciate the loyalty, guys. As I joined one of the Facebook groups, one of the guys told me, hey dude, I'm glad to see you here because I've been sharing your content on here all the time. So, and then I wonder why my content has been, you know, kind of shooting up as far as subscribers go. So thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for being loyal. I've got some interesting stuff coming up for you guys. I do have the JB4 planned out for the dyno now that the clutch is all nice and done, and everything's kind of set to just hop on the dyno. I really want to see what kind of numbers the JB4 pulls out, because we have a lot of different things planned out for this car. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Hope you guys enjoy that small video. I will see you in the next one. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the little bell that lets you know when I'm online or when I'm live streaming or any of that stuff. So give it a like, give it a share. See you in the next one. Peace out.